What's up, traders? This is Marco. We have another Friday. It's the 20th of October and I have another bar by bar for you today. I'm coming to the computer around 7:30 in the morning. Here you can see the 2000 tick ES chart and I'm using pure price action to find entries for the day. And the only indicator that I'm using is the 21 EMA. So you can see during the overnight there was some range behavior here. Prices are bouncing back and forth between these lows and highs here. Then I'm drawing always my shorter term channels and trying to find a general bias, but the bias here looks pretty neutral. We have this downtrend here, potential small break, retest of the lows exactly at the range support, and then from there some bounce of the range here. There is some little congestion coming up. Usually in congestion we are not entering any trades, and this shorter term uptrend here broke for the first time and prices made a new high. So right now it's still neutral. I just wait and see what's going on, and you can see prices are pushing higher here, getting some support by the EMA. And this is the opening, the market opening. You can see this here by the change of color. 8:30 in the morning. Prices go higher, so maybe there's a spike and channel structure here. That could be the spike, and this is the channel. Usually we wait for entries to come back at our key entry points, and the key entry points are the trend channels and the EMA. And right now you can see this trend channel here is responding to the price action because prices are fitting in neatly. Now we're getting a first break here of this uptrend structure, but this looks very congestive. Let me zoom in here a bit so you can see it a bit better. Another range congestion is forming up here, so I'm drawing these always. Still we have this first break of this uptrend, this green uptrend here with no retest of the highs yet, so we want to see a retest. Prices break out of this range here, most breakouts fail, and we are getting a higher low with some support around the midline. You can see prices are testing this level here for the third time, and there is some support coming up. Unfortunately, this signal bar here is not good enough for me to take a setup, to take a long back inside the range for retest of the extremes here. And also we did not test the range resistance. So there are some reasons to take a long here, but the signal bar is not good enough. If you have a better signal bar here, by no means just take a long here. Prices going higher, you would be out of the trade depending on how many ticks you scalp, but I think 4 or 6 would have worked easily here. So prices coming back inside the range here. You can see we had another rejection, but the midline of this range is providing some good support. So prices are turning and retesting the extremes of our green uptrend here. We're making a new high. So this uptrend played out. So I'm drawing a new potential channel here because you can see prices are fitting inside this channel, and we are testing now the range resistance here, getting some rejection, nothing to take. This is a very nice bearish bar right at the range highs here, but also it's the first break of this uptrend, and usually we see a retest of the extremes. And there's not too much space back to the EMA here. So if this maybe finished a bit higher, for example, we bounced higher here, ticked a bit higher and then turned back, then maybe to consider just taking a short here back to the EMA. But with this only like few ticks of space, I think we have to skip. Then we get a retest of the extremes of this uptrend here. And also we are breaking the overnight range, forming here some new high, getting a rejection candle. This candle here is huge, 12 ticks. It's very bearish, so most likely you see after such candles some continuation lower. But ideally, I would like to see a lower high, something like this, for further confirmation that we are going back inside this big range here. So we're going lower here. This lower high is not good enough. The signal bar is pretty bad. And we're going back inside the range. I'm drawing this range here a bit further. Having the shorter term channel here, potential break, retest of the lows. And now going up again. Interesting. Usually in healthy ranges, you can see that prices are bouncing back and forth between support and resistance. So we had this bounce here, tested the resistance, had a break here, coming back, testing the support again, and you see like back and forth all the time. So maybe the range is a bit bigger, something like this. I would just keep it for now here because we have more touches of the resistance. Getting first potential break here, retest of the extremes of this shorter term channel here. And now we're getting a lower high. Also here, the signal bar, same case like here. If this signal bar was a bit better, means if we finish down here, then I would consider taking a short. But this looks a bit congestive right now, so I really don't trust it too much, so I just skip. Whenever we are not sure, we're skipping. Huge sell-off, going lower here. The next target now is the low of this range right here. Downtrend, first break, retest of the extremes. So this downtrend played out. And now we're going sideways a bit. There is some reaction around the midline here. You can see prices dropping below, coming back, testing, but dropping lower here again. This congestion, nothing to consider. Maybe there's a bigger downtrend in play. If you draw it like this, for example, then you can see we have the high here, some touch here, and a couple of touches here. This is a lower high, but it's so far below the EMA that I don't want to risk or take this. If this, for example, finished a bit higher, then maybe, but this far away, I don't think it's a good idea. Going back and forth. And yeah, the next target, as I mentioned, is the range support here, which we are testing right now. Drawing this a bit further down. And we are getting a first break of this potential downtrend here. And after a break, we want to see a retest of the lows. Maybe on a second entry short, we are getting here our second entry. Looks like this is a new low. First entry, pull back, second entry. This bar is very bearish, so I really like to consider. The only thing that I don't like is that it's a bit congestive here. If 3 or more bars are stacked up, then this means congestion, and there could be some support right below here, because if you can see, they're like always one tick bouncing back. So this bar formed down here and then closed higher. The same here, pushing lower, but one tick, we bounced back. But still, this is a second entry short. Nice bearish bar. We are finishing below the EMA, and it's not too much risk here involved with 10 ticks only. So I'm willing to risk this. And such a bar we really don't want to see. It's a very bullish bar, and now this is pure congestion here, so there's a chance that we're getting stopped, but getting saved here. Prices are bouncing lower, By the way, if you see something like this, you enter and you can see prices turn on you directly, then you have two options pretty much. First, you don't monkey with the trade. Your stop loss is one tick above the signal bar, which is like here. Or second, you try to get out on break even. Personally, I do not like to monkey with the trades, and I just let it play out, because you can see it was worth to wait, because a few moments later this trade would have worked out. And as I said, like the stop loss is one tick above here, and you can see there is some selling coming in. Whenever prices are approaching this level, we're dropping lower. So we had the first break and having a retest of the extremes right now, and we are dropping much lower here. I'm extending this a bit, but I think even we can draw a new channel from here, taking or starting maybe from here. Even you can see prices are fitting inside this channel, very nice, extending the range, and we're trending lower here. No setup here to consider. This is also like only a first entry, and we're not back to the EMA, so we're waiting here. And now you can say the key entry point, our channel is being respected, but going that far away from the EMA, I think it's risky to take a trade, because as you can see here, if you take a short so far away, the EMA acts like a magnet. So whenever prices are far away, then sooner or later it will snap back and touch the EMA. So when you take a trade far down here, there is always a risk that on the next bar it will just snap back like here. So be careful taking trades that far away of the EMA. Ideally, you want to see that the trend line, the trend channel, is aligning with the EMA. Like, for example, what happens here, you can see the trend channel and the EMA are aligning. And if you get a nice second entry or some lower high or failure, then this is a very nice trade to take. But nothing happened here. Then we got our second entry short. So nice setup if it was not that congestive, but it worked out. So yeah, having this downtrend, first break here, retest of the lows. So right now I'm careful with taking any more shorts, and also not directly into this support. You can see there is some support coming up here, going lower, retesting the extreme. So this downtrend here played out. I must say this is a very nice bar, but also we have this shorter term uptrend here playing, and there was no break and retest of the extreme. So whenever this happens, I do not trust it, and we had already a new low in place here. So then you must be very careful in taking any more shorts. Going lower, and this is congestion right now. Nothing to consider. Going lower. So maybe there's even a bigger structure here in play. Nothing to consider. And we're getting some buying here. Interesting. With already some potential overshoot of this channel. You can see prices are fitting in and then overshooting. Or this channel is like this. Let's play it like this and we will see. Going lower, and we're getting some very strong rejection here. So maybe there is even some bigger channel. Let me play and test this. Is there some? No, this is not fitting. Maybe something like this. The midline, I must say, looks pretty nicely. It aligns here with the EMA, and there was some rejection around the EMA. So maybe after all, it's more like this here. Doesn't change much. Let me color this in gray. Prices are dropping lower here. Congestion, nothing to take. More congestion, and there is some support, breaking the support, going lower. So maybe there is some other channel here in play, something like this, but doesn't matter, there's no entry anyway. Break, retest of the extreme, so this shorter term channel here played out. But now it's getting interesting because prices are approaching our key entry point. You can see we had a touch here, a couple of touches here, and prices are coming back. But there's one thing that like disturbs me a bit. You can see prices are flying away of the resistance of this channel here. So this could be an indication that we see a break of the trend channel when prices are not coming back to test this support here. And you can see at every swing we are getting far away of the support. This is a very nice bearish bar, and it is a lower high, only a lower high, because prices made a new low here. First entry, potentially second entry, but we are above the EMA. Then we're dropping lower here and finishing below the EMA. So this is a lower high right of our key entry point, below the EMA, with a very nice bearish bar, same as before. Ideally, I would like to see it closing like here without this two wicks here, two tick wick. But the context is right. We're dropping lower here, finding rejection right of the EMA, breaking the EMA for the first time, going below again. And after such a bearish bar within this downtrend, I think it's fine to take a trade setup here. Going lower, forming now a potential failure. But now I have a small problem with this setup, because you can see at our last drop lower, we're finding some support around this level and prices didn't push through. We're finding some support coming back, so there could be a chance that we're breaking the channel now around like this, and then making a retest of the lows. So I don't want to take a trade here right now because we got rejection of this support level here, so can't take a trade here. Going lower. And finding some support. And this is only a second entry short. So I really want to see, excuse me, I said second entry short. I meant first entry short. I really want to see a second entry short right of our key entry point. But also we're finding now support around the midline here. And this shorter term uptrend is in play. We had a break here with a potential retest. So this speaks for taking a short setup here. But yeah, it's a bit congestive and I don't trust it right now. Getting a real break of this structure. Retesting the highs. So maybe there's a bigger channel even. Something like this. Break. Retest of the extreme, so the same effect that we had before. And this is congestion, nothing really to consider, no shorts, no longs. Breaking now the bigger gray downtrend here for the first time and making two potential legs to new lows, to retest the lows. So right now this downtrend here could be played out, dropping lower here and lower, nothing to consider. You can see these bars are far away and too much, too below the EMA. So really cannot take this here. Another bounce back, but no signal bar, no setup. We're simply dropping lower here without getting any setups. And this is now a very strong bearish bar. The only problem with this is we have already a couple of legs to a new extreme of this downtrend, and I really don't like to take trades after a new extreme was made. And also we are inside this shorter term uptrend channel here, and this was not broken. This bar looks perfectly bearish and closing below the EMA, but the context is just not fitting in. We have this downtrend already break new extreme, then this uptrend here is still in play. So we have to skip this and just wait. And it was the right decision, because you would be stopped out and prices are reversing. Now we're going higher here after this channel played out. Prices are forming some strong buying here. Let me find a potential channel. This could be it, with a potential first break and retest of the extremes already. Pulling back here to the EMA and still going higher, so maybe there is a bigger channel in play. Right now it's difficult to find something that is fitting nicely here, so maybe after all it's something like this, but then we're getting a potential overshoot here already. So let me start it with the shorter term price channels and shorter term price action. When you cannot find the channel, then we go and zoom in and look for the shorter term price action. Another overshoot here potentially, so maybe this channel here is not right after all. Let me see, we can remove this. So maybe it's something like this. Getting a first potential break and dropping much lower here. So this channel was also not right. So maybe we just play it like this with a first break retest of the extremes. And from there, maybe some new channel, but this is also not fitting nice here. Don't want to hang up on this too much. When you don't recognize a clear structure, then it's better to wait for some clear structure and then start to play it again. Prices are dropping lower here, and there is a potential shorter term downtrend working lower. We have a potential triple test here, you can see, but also prices did not come back to the EMA. So I'm careful here, and we're entering far below the EMA. So I think this is too risky to consider a short setup here. Going lower, forming a lower high, but same story. And breaking here the channel, tiny break, close outside. And going higher again. So really the structure is a bit confusing right now. So maybe after all there is some bigger channel here in play. Maybe something like this. That looks nice from this side. We only have like maybe two confirmations on the top side. So that here would be the break of this uptrend structure. And after a break, we want to see a retest. So a retest would be ideally around this level here, forming a higher low. But I think it's not enough to take a setup. If you consider this as a potential failure, prices made a new low here, first entry, second entry short. So when prices are pushing above this bar here, then this could be a potential failure. Also, you have some shorter term trend channel line working higher with a first break, new high all in one. But if you consider that this uptrend here is broken for the first time, then there is a potential that prices are retesting the extremes here. Then if you recognize a potential failure here, I think you can consider this setup. Prices go higher and really pushing and slicing through the EMA with very strong buying power. Look at the amount of green bars coming in here, breaking here the shorter term channel for the first time. So maybe there's a second entry long. We're getting a second entry long. This is a bit congestive now. So here's the new high, first entry pullback, second entry. We didn't make a new high yet. And this shorter term channel here broke, made a new low. So if you want, you can play a second entry long here right off the EMA to retest on the one hand the extreme of this channel and to retest the extremes of this gray uptrend here. We have enough space to our last highs, so it's really worth to play it, and it would have played out. We're getting our retest of this channel and also our retest of this gray channel. And this is price action right now. So this uptrend here played out, this shorter term uptrend played out. And this is the day so far. Let me zoom out here a bit. After all, not too many setups. We spoke here about this range. Prices are leaving the range, dropping out here, forming this gray downtrend with a break, couple of legs to a new low, and then reversing. Also here going higher, potential break, retest of the extremes. So right now prices have no clear direction and can go sideways or even a bit higher to test maybe the breakout area of this range, because we broke out of this area but never really retested the breakout. So prices maybe could go higher a bit, test the breakout area and then go lower again or entering the range. So the structure is not very clear right now because every structure and every channel that I drew played out. But usually you can see when prices stay within a range and we're breaking out of this range, then there will be a retest of the breakout. So this could be a potential target here. And if you measure, for example, this leg up here, then there's a potential second leg here that don't bring us to the retest of the range, but this could be a potential target if prices decide to go higher here and find support around the EMA. That's it for today. I hope you had a nice trading week, and I wish you a really great weekend, wonderful weekend, and speak to you next week.